Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fragrance review on the Robes 08 channel. I'm your host, Mark, the fragrance guru, and today is a legendary day for me and my channel because I am reviewing a legendary fragrance in the women's fragrance aisle. This fragrance is very much a polarizing fragrance. There's a lot of lovers of this fragrance. There's going to be a lot of women visiting my channel because I have this review on my channel just because it is a top seller across the world. There's a lot of lovers, a lot of haters on this, and a lot of these top sellers I tend to stay away from, being on on either side of the fence. I'm going to give you guys my take. A lot of people think this is a straight up 10 out of 10 type of fragrance for the women out there. I'm going to give you guys my honest take, as I always do. I'm going to give you the positive, the negatives of Angel, and all that bit. So, with no further ado, let's actually introduce the fragrance. The fragrance itself is called Angel, and it is from the designer house of Thierry Mugler. Now, when reviewing Angel, it's always prudent to say which one you're actually reviewing. I'm reviewing the one that started it all for Mugler, and this is the Eau de Parfum version. The reason why I say that is there's over 29 flankers of this juice. It's really good to actually tell the viewer which juice I'm actually reviewing. And so this is the originator, the Eau de Parfum. So let's get into it. First thing I want to do is I want to give the same warning on this scent that I gave to the men out there when I reviewed Angel Men from the same brand. To the women who were repulsed by this fragrance early on in your fragrance journey. Let's say you've only had 1 or 2 bottles, you're kind of young, you're starting to get into this fragrance thing quite a bit now, and you were kind of repulsed by this early on in your journey, and you're like, I'm never going to smell this ever again. Please revisit this one. There's a lot of reasons to be repulsed by a fragrance. If it was just you going to a store and be like, this is not my cup of tea, and then going to another direction, revisit this. Now, if this fragrance is a reason why you're repulsed by it is because you've smelt it way too much, people are wearing it way too much, and it's just repulsing you, it's not going to change your mind as far as going back to it and trying to smell it again. You're just going to have that memory in your mind that you've hated it. So it's not going to change your mind, but trust me, if you hated it earlier on in your journey, revisit this one. This one's a good one. This is not one that you want to kind of smell it once, not like it, and walk away. No, try it again, and you might actually be surprised. It's one of those, I like to say, slow love as far as fragrances go, and then once you fall in love with it, you're never going to go back. So not too many know this about Angel, but I wanted to let you folks out there know a little bit more about this fragrance. It was not always a top seller for the house of Mugler. It was actually one of those slow, steady top sellers where it took a few years for it to gather steam, and once it hit that pinnacle, it never really left. So it still is to this day. Now, this was released back in 1992. It still is now in 2015 one, if not the top seller for the whole brand. This is where Mugler's whole fragrance lineup stems from, is this bottle right here. In the men's aisle too, this has a huge factor into the men's section as far as the fragrances go. You can tell a lot of stuff that came out of Angel went into Angel Men and all of its flankers. So just to let you guys know, this was a slow, steady top earner, and this is why you kind of heed my advice or my warning that it might take you some time to truly appreciate it, because it took the whole world some time to really appreciate this fragrance for what it is now. So it hit the shelves back in 1992. It was actually the first fragrance released by the house of Mugler, and boy did he hit a home run with that one. Parfumier, the nose is behind this fragrance, is a 2-headed monster. We got Olivier Crest that we all know. He is an all-star nose, so I won't go into much detail as far as the resume goes. It speaks for itself. And the other nose was Yves de Charin. Yves de Charin, resume not too great, only really known for the Angel lineup and a few of the flankers. But, still a pretty hefty resume, but just never really branched out of the Mugler, the Angel spotlight. So let's get into it. Let's take a look. All right, let's take a look at bottle sizes, pricing. So bottle sizes, guys, this fragrance comes in
so many sizes, shapes, refillables, things like that. I'm going to name a few. There's this 0.5 ounce bottle. There's the 0.8. I believe this is the 0.8. Let me double check here. Yeah, this is the 0.8 25 milliliter refillable star. There's the 1.7 ounce, the 3.4, which are the two standards. And then there's a big boy. There's a 15 ounce bottle of Angel. Now, pricing, this fragrance has been, released back in the 90s, so your favorite discounter is going to have it. So shop around. Pricing, it'll vary. It goes from $30 right up to $110, $120. That big 15 ounce one, I've seen it at as high as almost $900. That one's kind of a little crazy, but this is an EDP concentration, so don't. There's also an eau de toilette version and a whole bunch of other flankers. So just be very, very careful when you want to purchase this, especially if you're purchasing off my review. You need to make sure that you have the original 1992 EDP version of Angel, and it's not one of the flankers. But there is so many sizes and variants of this fragrance. Flankers, there's way too many. There's about 29 flankers of Angel. So be very, very careful when purchasing this fragrance. So let's take a look at the box and bottle. And as you can see, the box itself, very plain and simple. It says Angel Mugler right here. This is a refillable star, eau de parfum. As you can see here, it's actually, there's actual little stars here at the top on the side of the box. In the back, there's a little bit of a story here, and there's some information at the bottom. Bottle itself, this is the star version, very nice. Again, not very good for, sitting on your mantle or anything like that. It's kind of awkward, but very, very nice in the hand. As far as spraying goes, it has a little spray at the top here. It has some, it says Mugler on the side, very nice touch here, and it has some information in the back here for Angel. Very nice bottle. I like the way it grips right here. It's very nice size. Very good for, like a purse spray for some people that are a huge fan of this scent. Sprayer, decent. Like this thing is like a laser when I shot this. Like look at that. Very, very good sprayer for a refillable bottle. This is a really good purchase. So let's get into it. Let's get into the review of Angel.
For me, it's time to actually dissect this beast. Let you guys know what I think about it. What does it smell like? So let's get into it. Let's go split screen. Let's take a look at the notes on this fragrance. And as you can see, the note breakdown, holy crap. There's a lot of notes here. There's a lot going on in this fragrance. Complexity is the name of the game when I'm talking about Angel. There's a lot going on. You're not going to get everything that's in the note breakdown. You're probably going to get tops 6 or 7 of the notes that I'm going to name off out of all this huge note breakdown. I'm going to let you guys know what I get. The major notes to my nose mainly are the caramel. I get that syrupy feeling, that gourmandish, that sweetness from the caramel. Absolutely gorgeous. It works very, very well in Angel. Also cotton candy. It has that candied sweet appeal too that goes with the caramel. But it really does smell like a cotton candy-like note. Vanilla, there's a wallop of vanilla in the backbone of this fragrance. It really does go with the patchouli hand in hand with this fragrance. Also, there is some florals in this fragrance. There's quite a few florals, and I'm going to go in depth which florals are really up in my nose. But it really does change the DNA from Angel to Angel Men. These florals that come out of Angel kind of give you that feminine appeal. The patchouli, of course, main DNA in this fragrance. Also the chocolate definitely. And as you can see, this is a gourmandish fragrance, so that's the group that it's in. A gourmand, I would say gourmand oriental type fragrance. How many sprays and where? What I do and what I would prefer the women out there to do is go light on the trigger. Now, it all depends on the weather outside. Angel's very polarizing, very how can I say, Sun Cloud's huge in this fragrance. It really is a fragrance that really punches people in the nose. Less is more. I felt, again, this is very much a unisex fragrance. I've worn it. I've tested it, of course. I got 1 on the chest, and I go 2 on the neck. I'm set. 3 sprays, I'm good to go. And this is even right in the middle of winter, this thing's going to work. I don't need more than 3 sprays to go outside. I know some people shower themselves in Angel. Less is more, ladies. Now at the top of Angel, when you first spray this fragrance on, magic happens. This fragrance really does show its complexity. You're going to hear me saying that quite a bit in this fragrance review. This fragrance really is bold, daring, something a little different than Women's Isle. Definitely unisex. Men can wear this fragrance. If you're a huge fan of the Angel Men lineup and you're a subscriber of mine and you're like, yeah, this is a women's fragrance. No. This is a women's and men's fragrance. I definitely feel like this one has no boundaries. A lot of fragrances don't, but this one is really bold and daring for a woman to wear. Personally, that's what I think. Is really different from what's out there in the designer game, and this is what attracts me to it. I actually live in a small town and they don't sell Mugler fragrances here, so every time I smell that this fragrance on a woman here in my hometown, I turn my head just because it catches my nose. I'm like, oh, you did not get this here. So it's just one of those polarizing fragrances that really just gets my nose. So let's get into it. The top of Angel. The top of Angel tells you right away that you're gonna go for a ride. It's definitely 100% Mugler DNA. If you blindfolded me, sprayed this on my hand, I would guess it right away. It just has that Mugler DNA to it. The whole foundation of the Mugler fragrance clan is built on this particular fragrance. The top gives you many facets of Angel. I've really noticed that you can have a lineup of 10 women, men, whatever, smell this fragrance off the top, so spray it on their hand, and they'll tell you. You might get 10 different answers. This fragrance is so polarizing. There's so many facets of Angel that people will paint a different picture every single time that they smell this fragrance, and that really attracts me to certain fragrances. And that's where your personality, if you got a daring, bold personality, this type of fragrance might just be for you. Angel does this, and you can see the excitement in my voice just because it is one of those fragrances that just stands out in the designer, the sea of designers that smell all alike. This is not one of those. I know there's a lot of fragrances that are try to be like this in Women's Isle, but never duplicated. So just to let you guys know at the top, you can pinpoint, I pinpoint already that earthy patchouli coming out, that greenness. It almost has like a brown green vibe. If I had to give it a color, that earthy patchouli that really comes out. But that is almost kind of like, you got that earthy patchouli, but then you got that gourmand coming in, that sweetness from the caramel, the chocolate, and the vanilla coming through, and you got that cotton candy sweetness. The cotton candy sweetness to it almost has like it really has like a synthetic vibe to it, but that caramel chocolate-like sweetness is very, very nice, and it kind of gives you different kind of edges to the sweetness, I would say. So that gourmand aspect, really, really nice. So some people will say, hey, I really get that patchouli, I don't like it, or, I love it, it's daring. A lot of people are going to gravitate towards the gourmandness of Angel just because of those sweet notes. A lot of people love to gravitate to those scents. Their noses just gravitate to them. Another smell, actually, the florals in this fragrance, and that is... I tend to see a lot of fragrance reviews on Angel, the originator, the EDP here, this fragrance right here. A lot of people kind of push the florals away, saying they don't say much about the florals. And I gotta say, I do get a little bit of florals here in this fragrance. There is in the note breakdown, and it kind of changes the vibe from Angel to Angel Men. So there is a nice balance of sweet notes, and then there's earthy tones, and then there's the florals down here. Really a great balance of notes, to be honest. As for me, my nose, when I first spray on Angel on my hand, I always tend to gravitate to the sweet, the gourmandish notes, the foodie notes. Those gravitate to my nose, and they always do. The patchouli's always there. Big punching patchouli in the backbone of this fragrance really does gravitate to my nose too. And it is the main factor in Angel, just to let you guys know. If you don't like patchouli, you're probably not going to like this fragrance. It is the main factor in Angel. I get tons of chocolate here. The chocolate, just to describe it a little bit, from my nose, it comes off powdered. That might be an effect from other notes coming here, but it is a dark chocolate to my nose, and it's powdered form. You get that beautiful caramel note. It's soft. It's not huge and punching. It's very, very soft, but it has that syrupy feel to it. I don't know really how to explain it. It does have that syrupy, soft, authentic caramel-like smell. A little bit of honey here kind of always going towards that syrupy feel. Yes, they both those notes, the caramel and the syrup, or the honey, sorry, they both give out like depth like notes. They give this fragrance actually that warmth that you're getting. A lot of people are going to wear this and they just feel like it's a sweater. Yes, that's where you're getting it from. The sugary cotton candy, so you're going to get a bit of a juvenile sugar in here. I'm going with those warmer depth notes, you know, the caramel and the honey, they're more grown up. But you still have that little bit of that cotton candy that has that juvenile sugar to it. But don't get me wrong, it definitely isn't one of those really pixie sticks kind of sugary scents that, 12-year-olds will wear. No, this is one of those that, grown up can definitely wear and it won't feel too juvenile, we'll say. There is coconut in this. And if you smell this fragrance enough, you're going to start smelling a little bit of a coconut aspect to this fragrance. In the introduction, it's really, really neat. Berries, you're also going to get some of those fresh notes. So the berries, the plum, the melon, and the peach. A lot of those do come out. They're very faint, very much just in the introduction. They kind of add to the complexity of Angel. And it took me quite a while to try to pinpoint these notes in this fragrance, and I really did get a lot of fruity notes off the top. They're very, very faint, but you can smell them. Mainly you're getting a lot of that cotton candy sugary twist with a much darker syrupy caramel with some dark chocolate. This is mixed with a little bit of florals in here, and if you overspray Angel, which a lot of you out there do, you're going to get a lot of the florals pop through the entire gourmand intro. I tried to overspray the hell out of Angel, and the florals really just popped out of this fragrance. Yes, you get all that gourmandish, the patchouli and all that, but it really just shows the depth of Angel when you overspray it a little bit. Now, let's get into more of the intro. The patchouli plays the backbone of the scent. If you didn't know, you know now. It's a patchouli-based fragrance. It's never truly dominating in the scent. It's not it's the backbone, but it stays there. Like, it's always there. It's really straightforward. It's never up front all the time. It's just there, and the gourmandish notes are up front. It's very busy in this introduction, definitely, but at the same time, it just plain works. This introduction is absolutely outstanding. Now, the dry down, that's the fun part of Angel. That's my favorite part of Angel, actually. Now, the dry down of Angel, you start peeling more layers, but you start losing a lot more layers, and you get much of the same from the introduction. I feel the dry down of Angel is the best part, and also is the one that stays around all day, obviously. And I mean, pretty much all day. This fragrance does last quite a bit. So the patchouli and the gourmand notes kind of take the stage, they take over, and they keep on chugging in the dry down. They just make their place and they stay there. And this is where a lot of people do love Angel, is actually once you get into the dry down. The vanilla pushes through, and it gets actually quite a little more dominant as far as a note goes in Angel. In the dry down, kind of takes over for the cotton candy-like sweetness. It just kind of gives you that vanilla-like sweetness now. Angel pushes the boundaries and the balance of sweet notes, and the patchouli is just absolutely spectacular in this fragrance. The patchouli punches up, shows you that earthy, dirty quality in the dry down. I felt the dry down of Angel really peels so many of the unnecessary layers that I smelled in that busy introduction. So the introduction might be a little much for you. Once you start peeling these layers, all you're getting is warmth. It's very much a winter-based scent. Great for fall also. But it's one of those fragrances that really warms up more time that it's on your skin, the more it warms up. Definitely. A lot of those notes that were in the introduction that a lot of you will probably skip because they're very hard to smell, those are gone. All that noise kind of goes away, and it just shows a beautiful dry down in Angel. What I love about this scent is the subtle florals make an appearance every so often in this fragrance during the life of it. Between all the sweets and the green patchouli, I really felt like a lot of these florals in this fragrance popped up just a bit. I really, really enjoyed that. Overall, I would have to say a work of art, in my opinion. Really something that back in 1992, I can't believe Mugler released this ahead of its time, to be honest. So let's get into what I think about the fragrance. Let's go. Now into my final take. Let's take a look at my recommended age. My recommended age for Angel would have to be basically pretty much anybody. I would have to go 18 and up. I've smelt this on older ladies, even as old as 60 years old, right down to younger 20-year-olds. And I gotta say, it just works. It just works on anybody. Older ladies, younger ladies. If you're in that age range of 18 and up, that's basically everybody. Sniff this out. It might work for you. I think it would work for almost anybody. Bottles. What does this remind me of? Well, on my channel, I've reviewed a lot of men's fragrances, but fragrances that reminds me of this. The foodie, the gourmandish aspect of this fragrance. New Harlem, it has that caramel, that sweetness that I smell from New Harlem in this fragrance. Of course, Angel Men, the men's counterpart of this fragrance, I can't go without it. They have so many similarities, it's not even funny. So if you love Angel Men, you might want to gravitate to Angel and just see what you get. In the women's aisle, there's so many pretenders of Angel, a lot of them out there. I'm going to name a few here: Flower Bomb and Chanel's Coco Mademoiselle. Awards, has this fragrance been in a top 10 list of mine? No, unfortunately not. Perhaps in the future I might have a top 10 fragrances that I love on women. This one would definitely make it, so look out for that. But right now, no, it hasn't been in any of my top list. Best time to wear this fragrance, it's gotta be night out. This is absolutely gorgeous on a night out. That goes to being a date. Yes, date night, wear this. Not too much of it. The secret with this is wear less. You know, that 2 sprays, 3 sprays that I told you guys, you know, the women out there. If you're going on a date, wear less. Get the guy closer to you, because it's one of those fragrances that brings you in. So, date nights, yes. Rainy days, oh, this works. Most of Angel and the Angel Men lineup in rainy days, these things work. Rainy days, snowy season. If there's snow on the ground, Angel's pretty good bet that you can wear it. Seasons. This is I love wearing it in the fall, winter, spring nights would be a good time to wear it. Compliment factor. This fragrance, again, I haven't worn too much of this. Again, for the women out there, this is a high compliment getter. I know a lot of women that wear this fragrance. It's high. Every time I smell this on a woman, I'm done. So on me, when I was wearing it for testing purposes, I had a few compliments, which shows it can be a unisex fragrance. Nobody came up to me and said, dude, you smell like a chick. I didn't get that. I'm sorry. I got a few compliments, actually. So it goes to show you that you can wear anything you want. So now a few more tidbits here from me, my final take. Angel could be marketed towards men or women. It would still do great sales-wise. Personally, I think so. I think if this was geared for men, it would still do great sales-wise. It's a great overall scent, which is truly unisex. From first sniff, you can really gravitate towards Angel as being a masterpiece of a scent. I know when I first smelled this fragrance, I was like, whoa, what's that? That's a little different. So I think definitely this is one of those masterpiece of a scent. This fragrance is a showstopper, and it will either way, good or bad, leave an impression on you. With so many notes and so many facets to this fragrance, the user will really truly never get bored with Angel. But at the same time, every nose will get a different dominant note when they smell it, and that's a great thing about Angel, and it's a bad thing, depending on your history with these notes that you smell. Now, many sweet scents can come off childish per se. This one, just because I'm talking about gourmands and sweetness, this one can pull off complexity and depth and not being childish at the same time. I wouldn't call this the most elegant woman's scent out there, but it really can be pulled off being, dressed up. If you're going on a date, you can still wear this wearing a nice dress. I don't see anything wrong with that. It's not the most elegant, but it's not the most juvenile. It's right there, and it can be a woman's signature scent, definitely. Really a good one. Now let's go into, on the other hand of things. Now, a fragrance so popular like this will be overworn by some. Worn in the wrong season can turn people off straight away. This reminds me of Paco Rabanne's 1 Million from on the men's section. What it did to me, I thought it was a great scent when it first came out. Then too many people wore it at the wrong time and wore too much of it. It just killed me on the scent. I just can't. And it just has that 1 million effect. And this one may have that turn off effect to a lot of people out there. If you live in a big city, a lot of people might be wearing this fragrance, too much of it at the wrong time, and you're just going to get turned off of it, and you're not going to ever wear it again, or not even like this fragrance. So it has that effect. So just keep that in mind. If you're shopping for a fragrance and you live in a bigger city, that might be something that you got to keep in mind. If I had to say something to my women subscribers as a scent, and I had to say, there's one scent out there that you have to smell at least twice in your lifetime. Give it a second chance. This would be on that list. If you smelled it once and hated it, go back to it once you smelled a few more scents. Don't go back to it a month later. If you hated it then, you're probably going to hate it a month later. But if you go like a few years, you smelt Angel back in 2010, we'll say, and you weren't really into fragrances that you are like now, and you haven't really given it a second chance, give it a second chance. Just see what you get from it. And I'm still scratching my head when I was writing this review, thinking how advanced this scent was back in 1992 and still doing great from now. Now this goes to my why would you love and why would you hate this fragrance. Now why would you love Angel? Man, if you like complexity, daring, bold, if you love having, some attention, if you love gourmand-based fragrances, you love caramel, chocolate, vanilla, if this sounds delicious to you, this is a fragrance that you will gravitate towards. Now, on the flip side of things, why would you hate this fragrance? Well, complexity sometimes isn't a great thing for some people. And it might be just a little too much for some. If it's one of your first scents that you smelt in your fragrance game, it might be something that'll turn you right off. Second, too popular. Well, it's a top seller. People wear it, again, too much, too often. Might turn you off. It's too popular. It's too sweet. If you don't have a sweet tooth, again, I have that sweet tooth, but it checks off a lot of my, I got, complexities up there. Yes. I have a sweet tooth. Yes. But I don't want it too sweet. This is one of those fragrances that has a lot of that. Too loud. When I mean too loud, this is a projection beast. When people walk into the room wearing Angel, they're going to get their presence felt. And a lot of people, sometimes you just don't want your fragrance to be like that. You want something subtle. You want something maybe a little more elegant, we'll say. So again, that's one reason why you would hate this fragrance. And that goes to overwhelming. Yes, this is the type of fragrance that's just a little too overwhelming for some. Now let's go into my rating system. This is where we get to see what kind of score Angel gets. I've only scored Lady Million as far as the women's aisle goes, so this is my second one, and this is a fragrance that really has a lot of lovers and haters, so we'll see. You probably already know which side I'm on, so let's get into it. Let's go split screen, and I'm going to rate Angel. So first of all, projection. As you know, projection beast. Yes, this is a 10 bottle beast mode as far as projection goes, this fragrance. If you wear just a little too much, you're just going to kill the room. Longevity, another 10 bottle score. Again, this fragrance, you get what you pay for. It is going to last. It is going to project. It's bold. So longevity, it's going to give you 8 to 12 hours. I like to see 6 to 8 hours on my skin with fragrances just to be worth the money. This gives you more than that. It gives you 8 to 12 plus hours in longevity. Now let's go into versatility. And that's something with Angel. again, you got to play with the sprays and your seasons and things like that to make it a little more versatile. I know some people do that. They do the one spray in back of the right here, and that's it, and they wear it to work and things like that. Great. It makes it a little more versatile. I mean, once you get more into this fragrance thing, you'll kind of get the gist of it. But as far as versatility, this is not the most versatile fragrance. It can be signature scent worthy, I think, if the person does it right. But I'm going to give it 5 bottles out of 10 for versatility, just because it's such a huge bomb. It's such a huge attention getter that a lot of people are just going to gravitate this as just being a night out date-like scent. That goes to smell. Angel, I can't say enough about it. As far as the price point, as far as what it gives me in the women's aisle, I gotta give it 10 bottles out of 10. It just is one of those polarizing scents that just you gravitate towards it. So 10 bottles out of 10 for smell, and that goes to an overall score. This fragrance has to be a perfect 10 fragrance for me. It is going to be in the perfect 10 club. It is a 10 out of 10 for overall. And that goes to buy, try, or pass. I definitely recommend Angel as a buy-worthy fragrance. I think as far as price point and everything that it gives to me, it check marks on every single thing. It is a buy-worthy fragrance. If you like it in the first couple sprays, I guarantee you're not going to hate this fragrance. You're probably going to buy multiple bottles. I know a lot of people that are on multiple bottles of Angel already. They went through 5 or 6 bottles already in their lifetime, and they're not going anywhere else. They're staying with Angel for their whole life. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. And hey, if you own Angel, if you're one of my women subscribers, or if you haven't subscribed, please do. Let me know in the comments below if you've owned it, you love it, you hate it, you've traded a bottle, sold a bottle. Let me know all that good stuff. Do you agree with me? Perfect 10. Is it a perfect 10? You let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.